Morning, I am Dr. Hirsi. I am going to explain the passive circuit elements. Individual components which make up an electronic circuit are called elements or parameters. Most commonly used elements in such circuits are resistors, inductors, and capacitors. In resistors, current is directly proportional to the applied voltage. In inductors, voltage required is directly proportional to the rate of change of current, whereas capacitor require current which is directly proportional to the rate of change of voltage. Resistors. A resistor is an electrical component with a known specified value of resistance. It is probably the most common component in all kinds of electronic equipment, ranging from a small radio to a color television receiver. As its name suggests, a resistor resists or opposes the flow of current through it. Resistance is necessary for any circuit to do useful work. In fact, without resistance, every circuit would be a short circuit. Some of the common uses of resistors are establish proper values of circuit voltages due to IR drops, to limit current and to provide load. The two main characteristics of a resistor are its resistance and power rating. Resistors can be connected in the circuit in either direction because they have no polarity. Resistor types. Resistors are mainly of two types and can be either of fixed or variable value. Wirewound resistors, carbon resistors, carbon composition type, carbon film type, ceramide film type, and another type is called metal thin film resistor. Wirewound resistors. They are connected from a long fine wire, usually nickel chromium wire, wound on a ceramic core. The length of the wire used and its resistivity determine the resistance of the wire. The wire is bare, but the entire assembly is covered or coated with the ceramic material or specified with enamels. Such resistors are generally available in power ratings from 5 watt to several hundred watts and resistance values from 1 ohm to 100 kilo ohm. These can be either of fixed value or variable type. Wire wound resistors are used where large power dissipation is necessary. Precise and stable resistance values are required as for meter shunts and multipliers. Carbon composition resistors. They are made of finely divided carbon mixed with the powdered insulating material in suitable proportion. Often, the resistance element is a simple rod of pressed carbon granules which is usually enclosed in a plastic case for insulation and mechanical strength. The two ends of the carbon resistant element are joined to metal caps with leads of tinned wire for soldering its connection into a circuit. Such resistors are available in power ratings of 1 by 10, 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 1 and 2 watt and in resistance values ranging from 1 ohm to 20 mega ohm where power dissipation is 2 watt or less. Such resistors are preferred because they are smaller and costless. Carbon resistors with power rating of 1 watt or less are the most common in electronic equipment. Carbon film resistors. They consist of a high-grade ceramic rod or core called the substrate on which is deposited a thin resistive film of carbon. They are cheaper than composition resistors. Ceramide film resistors. They consist of thin carbon coating wire fired onto a solid ceramic substrate. The main purpose is to have more precise resistance values and greater stability with heat. Very often they are made in a small square with leads to fit into a printed circuit board. Metal film resistors. They are referred to a thin film resistor. They consist of a thin metal coating deposited on a cylindrical insulating support. The high resistance values are due to thinness of the film. Because it is difficult to produce films of uniform thickness, it is not possible to control their resistance values as accurately in the case of wire wound resistors. However, such resistors are free of troublesome inductance effects so common in wire wound resistors, particularly at high frequencies. Variable resistors. These are the resistors whose resistance can be changed between 0 and a certain maximum value. They can be wire wound or carbon type. As shown in the figure, the sliding arm has been attached to a shaft which can be rotated in almost a complete circle. As the shaft rotates, the point of contact of sliding arm on the circular carbon composition resistance element changes, thus changing the resistance between the terminal B and the terminals of stationary resistance A. In figure, we move the sliding arm, the resistance between B and A increases, whereas that between B and C decreases. In figure B, with rotating of the arm, the resistance between B and C increases, whereas that between B and A decreases. This is the first figure and the second figure. Carbon variable resistor, carbon variable resistors of power ratings half watt to 2 watt and resistance of 1 kilo ohm to 5 mega ohm are commonly available. Such controls are often combined with an off and on switch, a common example being the power on off switch and volume control of a radio receiver. Thank you.